Women's team pursuit finals now. This is the race for bronze. Women's team pursuit, Japan versus Australia. And we are underway, 16 laps of the track. The Japanese team, both men's and women's team pursuits, have really stepped up in the last 18 months or so. We know the depth of talent Japan possess in the sprint disciplines, so really good to see them stepping up as well in terms of the endurance events like the team pursuit. Australia, though, with a quick start, half a second up just to get things going. And the first kilometre about to be completed. Australia will get to the first kilometre just ahead of Japan, 109.4, and it's 0.3 of a second now. Japan just starting to get themselves up to full speed.
First 1,000 metres, Australia rode 1:09.40.
And it's coming back ever so slightly, just under 2/10 now. Japan starting to hunt down the Australians.
Nothing between the two now as they go through. Like last year.
And still, so Australia really doing well here to hold on. Coach Tim Decker in the back straight, just letting his riders know exactly where they sit against the Japanese team. And now it goes the other way. So the pendulum has swung in the favour of Japan, 0.1 of a second. Australia down to 3 riders now. Sally Carter, Western Australian, is the rider that has swung off the track. And that has left Kira Will, Sophie Edwards and Felicity Wilson-Heffenden to do it all. 0.7 of a second now. The gap really starting to go in the favour of Japan. Still with 4 riders as well. Sophie Edwards driving it for the Australians, and it's come back a little bit. So the power of Edwards, the older of the riders in this young squad for the Australians, doing everything she can to try and keep themselves in contention for this bronze medal. 5 laps to go. 0.8 of a second, the biggest margin that we've seen. Oh, it's come back a little bit, so the Aussies have started to lift, and it's the youngster Wilson-Heffenden that is really doing something special here. 18-year-old Tasmanian has brought them back to 0.5 of a second now. So this is a real race, and a comeback here from the young team from Australia up against Japan. Just as I say that, Wilson-Heffenden swings off and the gap opens up a little bit. Japan now down to 3, so both teams with 3 riders, and they'll be coming around to get 2 laps to go. And the gap now out to just over 1 second and into the final 500 metres. Oh, interesting change there from the Japanese rider. They're so used to swinging for 3 riders, and then without only swinging to go down into 3rd position, it's something they don't train that often for. And into the final lap now, and it's just under 1 second. But Japan have done everything they need to get this bronze medal here. Australia put up a really good fight with a young team, but the Japanese squad, they will get the bronze medal here in Hong Kong. 4:17.9, and a good fight back there from the young Australian team. But Japan, the Asian champions, come on top. Bronze medal for them in the women's team pursuit. Race for gold now, New Zealand versus Ireland. Women's team pursuit final, the race for gold is on the way. Both teams improving from their qualifying times. New Zealand with a 4:17, Ireland a 4:20 in qualifying, and then they went to 4:13 and a 4:17 for Ireland, 4:13 for New Zealand. Good start though for New Zealand, 0.8 of a second up on Ireland. That's what you would expect from this formation. They are so well trained, so well performed in recent time. And there's already though down to 3 riders. That's the tactics. First 4 laps of the race. So New Zealand just over 1 second up on Ireland, but it's 3 versus 4. 1.4 now. Almost out to 2 seconds. That was the margin that was the difference between them from the first round. And we've seen New Zealand so comfortably back up on big performances previously. So even though they're down to 3 riders, you could still expect them to put in a pretty good time here tonight. And again, they're not a very good change though there from the third rider from New Zealand. A little bit of extra work to do to close that gap down, and she's been able to do it. It is an unfortunate waste of energy though. They are just entering the same straight as the Irish as they go out around the bend. So this is a comfortable margin now for New Zealand. 4 seconds. It's all about what time they can do. Of course, the big goal is Paris later in this season, and they want to keep improving. They know that Great Britain are not racing this Nations Cup, and they are the favourites for the gold medal at the Olympic Games, perhaps. New Zealand want to do something special to steal that away from them. And we're going to be very close to a catch here. 3 laps to go, and they're not too far away from catching the Irish team. 5.5 seconds, 5.6 seconds is the gap, and you can see visibly just about to get to the back of the Irish team. So really commanding performance here from New Zealand. 2 laps to go, and they are about to catch their opponents in the race for gold here. Time becomes irrelevant unless they do want to continue on just to see how they're travelling, but this is where it gets dangerous. And the Irish rider swings up, and fortunately, no issues. And that's it, that's the catch. So New Zealand claim the gold medal here. So gold medal to New Zealand over the top of Ireland. Another good solid performance there for Ireland at the elite level. New Zealand, Ireland and Japan. Gold, silver and bronze. Women's team pursuit final here. Team pursuit final now for the men. Race for the bronze medal. New Zealand versus Australia. We've seen this so many times, especially at Commonwealth Games level.
Australia here. New Zealand just a little bit quicker this afternoon.
New Zealand at the moment, just that 1/10 of a second advantage. And despite being the third race of the day, both of these squads would be desperately hoping to go under 350. They've gone past the halfway point, and it's still close. New Zealand not riding away with this. Now it's 3 riders for New Zealand, so 3 versus 3. 0.6 of a second is the difference. 0.7, so New Zealand just starting to get a bit of a stranglehold on this bronze medal. Big effort required from Australia to keep themselves in the hunt for this medal. And they'll come around for the final 2 laps now. Almost at 1 second is the margin. The final 500 metres, and New Zealand look as if they are riding towards this bronze medal. The young Australian team are not going to go down without a fight though. Can both teams get themselves under the 350? That's something they'd really like to do, and they have kept it to within 1 second. Final lap now. Can they finish things off? New Zealand will claim the bronze medal here, but Australia trying to do their best performances on the boards as well. And it's a 351.6 for New Zealand. They claim the bronze, and the margin just goes over 1 second, with Australia finishing in 4th. The race for gold now, men's team pursuit is underway. And the faster of these 2 teams, surprisingly, knowing that the Danish team have been so strong as a force in team pursuit for so many years. And they are the defending world champions. But Japan doing their nation proud. National record this afternoon. And that has got them as the fastest qualifiers coming into this final. 102.3 for Denmark. Fantastically fast first kilometre. And they are starting to get a bit of a stranglehold here. So this is a big margin as it approaches 2 seconds. The riders from Denmark will just start to see in their peripheral vision. 6 laps to go, 3 riders each, and the advantage heavily favouring the current world champions. This is going all the way of the world champions from Denmark. Really putting in a solid performance here. They didn't go to Adelaide for the first Track Nations Cup. And it's all gone the wrong way for Japan. They have blown up all over the track here. This is really unfortunate for them because the gap goes out to 5 seconds. And they'll come around to get the bell just as they catch the back of the Japanese team. So the race will be concluded as they catch their opponents. There's the signalling of the race being done. So with half a lap to go, 3/4 of a lap to go, the race was over. And it's a gold medal going to the world champions of Denmark in the men's team pursuit.